We should be live. If we're not live, then there's a problem. People deluded. I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. Good morning to those of you in the UK. While I'm showing love to my UK ones, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, in some cases, good night. I don't know. But yeah, man, I hope you're all doing well and safe. I hope you're all in good spirits. It's Tuesday, so I hope you're all moving closer towards whatever goals, dreams, hopes, and aspirations you've got, people. As you lot can see, my green screen wants to ruin my day. I've had a fantastic couple of days. You know, the engagement levels have been crazy in the group chat and the live chats with you lot. You lot have been supporting the movement and all of these things. So things have been great, people. Apart from this green screen, I don't know what the hell is going on, brother. Like, what's going on, bro? Fix up my thing. You know, we're almost, we got to 37,000 subscribers and them thing there, and it's trying to mash up my thing. I don't know what's going on there, people, but there's always something or someone hating and the rest of it, people. But nonetheless, let's not let that deter us. Like I said, it's Tuesday, so I hope you're all moving towards whatever goals, hopes, dreams, and aspirations you've got. You're never too old to rewrite life. You're never too young to know what you want. So I hope you're doing well and safe. Obviously, get your opinions in. Make sure you've hit the like button. Make sure you've checked out the pinned message, because shortly after this, it's Euro's business and it's coming home. I don't think we're going home like the French. Let me stop talking mad before it gets clipped up. But you get me? We're not going out like the French yesterday. We're doing our thing today. But we'll see when that one comes, man. On a serious note, it should be a good game of football. And like I said, people, the engagement levels, the support, the overall, everything you guys have been doing for me has been crazy, and I'm very appreciative of it. I think I've clocked what's actually it, people. It's my fan. One sec. I think I've clocked it. I'm still here, though, obviously. Come on, people. I'm still here. Don't worry. But I think I've just clocked what's happening. How could I just clock? Because I just watched my fan blow. Well, it's going to keep doing it. Yeah. And it's just, obviously, it's blowing onto the green screen and giving me problems there. So, yeah, man, you know, sometimes you can't. I always give the example of standing in the rain and complaining while you're wet. I think that was a case of me doing that. But before we get into what we're getting into, please make sure you're hitting the like button. I see you lot of, you know, there's bare comments going on. Let me see what you lot are saying, man. I hope nothing mad has happened with my thing. I ain't getting cancelled or nothing. I hope there's no other breaking news that I have to go make another thumbnail and things. So let me see what you're saying. A man said the ball's going to get sacked today. Watch free Donny. You man are out of the Euro, so it's not really relevant to me, my guy. But yeah, man, him and Deschamps need to pack up, man. You've got him, you know, Holland, first time of asking, flattered to deceive. France, the same logic. I've been saying it, you know. They haven't been asked questions of, yeah, they're in the group of death, but they've always, it's almost like they've had this a bit of arrogance to know that we're kind of better than you, man. There'll be a 10-minute passage or something where we'll pattern it, and everything went wrong. Game management from somebody who is the world champions. 1 second, folk, man. Fan, you're coming off, man, because you have not been in. You're acting up. You're acting up for the fans. You're acting up. The fan is acting up for the fans, because how many live streams have you been doing your thing? You haven't been doing. You're showing off today. You're showing off. You're a valued member of my setup. You know, my chair is here. When I go downstairs to get the water and that, my chair don't act up. So why are you acting? Do you want me to replace you? But going on, like I was saying with France, people, everything was terrible for France yesterday, innit? I feel, you know, they made the game harder than it needed to be anyways, which is 1L. Second of all, third on that, I'm losing count. Bro, they scored 10. I swear they had a two-goal lead in the last 8 minutes. So anytime you don't see it through to the end, there's always question marks. There's always things you're gonna want to hold accountable. So the game management, all of that was wrong. Of course, Mbappe's missed a penalty. Pogba's played amazing, but he's lost the ball at the vital time. Where was everybody else? I think, you know, they built their house on the sand. You did hear a lot of rumors they wanted to go free at the back, the players I'm referring to. But Deschamps, I can't sit here and say he's not a tactics man, because he's won the World Cup and he's got to a European final. I can't say he's not a tactics man. Euro's opinions. I can't sit here and say he's not a tactics man, but for me, there was no need to really switch to a free at the back against Switzerland, who are obviously more comfortable at playing such than you lot, because that's the first time I've seen France, and you're doing it with no evident leader. Yeah, you can say Kimpembe, Varane, Lynette, they've won World Cups, they're playing at big clubs, they've done things, you can say they're leaders, but they're all defenders, they're all modern day defenders. They don't concentrate. They all need a Puyol or a more experienced and someone who actually knows how to defend to guide them through, or they struggle. And, you know, it was 3 headless chickens. Lynette never got going. Varane's all over the place. And I've been saying on my channel, he's looked shaky since anytime him and Pavard are next to each other. It's a calamity. Kimpembe is a shambles, you know, premium shambles. He's a terrible centre half, really and truly. A couple of those players are nothing short of terrible people. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Like, really bad footballers in terms of thinking. Then you've got Pavard in a wing-back role where we've spoken about when you're not really being pressed and they're not asking questions, he looks all right. When you ask a question of him, he looks dead. Coleman was a bit mixed. It all went downhill, you know. Only really Benzema did his thing. Lloris saved the penalty in that. Other than that, it was terrible, and France deserved to go out, you know. Bunch of reasons. And I think this, are they going to sack Deschamps with a World Cup to go? And, you know, I'm pretty sure they're not. That's the first real disappointment you could sit here and say with him. You know, he's got to a Euros final. The next opportunity he won the World Cup, and then obviously now it's been disappointing. Maybe they need to sack him, though. I think they need some new blood, probably with a manager, because it's the end of a cycle now. And I just think with the players, man, you know, maybe it's a time to take a chance on these young centre halves. I'd love it to be Saliba. Realistically, you know, give Condé a bit more of an opportunity. Maybe even you might even see a better Pavard if you play him as a natural defender. But it was terrible from the Frenchman. But yeah, it is what it is in that regards from them, man. There really. So yeah, France out, man. And Mbappe, obviously, I like the agendas, I like the jokes, but let's not rewrite history. He's still a cold player. You just have to take the rough with the smooth in it. You can't win all the time, you know. I know football's been a bit cruel to him in the last 2 years. You know, he's flirted with the Champions League final. He's gone out at the first knockout stages of this competition, but it's a learning curve. It really is a learning curve for the young man. And maybe, I don't want to be I know a lot of people are sitting there saying he's lacking humility because of the whole Giroud thing. And I think that's true. And I think he needs to exercise that. But at the same time, bare people are speaking like they know exactly what's going on there. But I get it. And he's got to learn to deal with depression now. And I always say it with young footballers. Everybody loves you when you do your thing at Monaco. Everybody loved you when you bullied Barcelona. Now you're overrated. You're this, that, and the other. I say it all the time. We spoke about Greenwood. I said it. The quicker these footballers realize nobody loves them, you know, it's subjective according to the week, the better. They don't love you. Your mother loves you. Your family love you. You know, your friends before you became levels, they might have love for you, but the footballing world don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about anybody, you know. Can't believe what I'm seeing about Granit Xhaka. You know, shout out to Xhaka. You know, he bossed it yesterday. Pogba was good, but obviously we're only going to remember him losing the ball for what led to the equaliser. Xhaka was a man mountain, you know. I don't like to make it the Xhaka show because there's 10 other players that mash work. You know, Jon Sommer would be my man of the match for Switzerland. Forget the penalty shootout. He was on crud from the start. So he was quite decent in that regards. But, you know, Granit Xhaka, you know, he's a man that people were saying, these same journalists were saying he's the reason, one of the reasons Arsenal are failures. How can they play him all the time? You go on that last game he's just played, you would think we're letting a prime Xavi go, people. You know, what's all of that in that regards? Don't get it twisted. He bossed it. He looks like he's going Italy. Fair play to the man. And, you know, I like Xhaka, but I wanted him to lose yesterday. But he did his thing, innit? Really and truly. And hopefully that means we can get rid of, man. Hopefully, I hear that he wants to go to Italy, get it sorted. You know, probably again with them going Switzerland doing the unthinkable and advancing, you're not going to see a resolution on his future until after the competition. Granted, they might go out the next time of asking because he's suspended, but we need to sell Xhaka before it's too late, really. You know, hopefully he's got a bit more admirers like you lot. I'm sitting there and going, Roma, whatever you thought he was getting him for, add a couple zeros onto that and a couple more millions and things. But let's be realistic. It would be Arsenal to somehow, Xhaka bossed it yesterday. Somehow we're getting 2 million less than before that game happened, sort of thing. So I don't think we're really in a strong negotiating position. I mean, hopefully, you know, 2 years left on his deal, 29, someone takes a chance on him. It is what it is. And I think games like yesterday, man, start rewriting history. You know, Xhaka's biggest haters don't want to admit he had a good game. Xhaka apologists, Xhaka sexuals start rewriting history and going over the top. He bossed it. He's a good player, but let's not rewrite history. Like, there's the truth's in the middle. He's never been as bad as people have made out. He's definitely never been as good as people make out. He's a player that does a lot of things that are underappreciated. He's a player that can offer things to our team that other people can't, but his pros are not outweighing his cons, you know. And again, it's like building your house on the sand. So credit to Xhaka for doing his thing yesterday. You know, you can go to Rome with your head held high. And I might be thinking a bit too much in it, but this comment is mainly off of when I look at when Saka signed his deal, when Aubameyang signed his deal, when Tierney signed his deal, when Partey signed his deal, Gabriel when he signed, they all spoke of how Arteta improves them and things. And there's been players holding as well, and there's been other players that have said little bits and pieces and these sort of things, people. And a bit of it might be PR. You're never going to say anything less than that. But it made me think, all right, cool. You know, XHAKA was in his rights. You know, you've played under Wenger, you've played in the Prem for a number of years. You're in your rights at 29 to try the Italian adventure, to play in Serie A, to play under a footballing legend, which is Jose Mourinho. And that's actually what got me thinking. It's like, does he feel, them and they were saying they're improving under Arteta. Now, if you just want to go to Jose, it's Jose, innit? There's no contest. Arteta ain't got clout in this world. What, one FA Cup and a bag of propaganda to whatever you say about Jose, he's been there and done it. I'd personally rather be a has-been. Like, I don't think that's disgraceful to call Bearman in this game has-beens, but I'd rather be a has-been like Jose than someone that's never did it. Like Arteta, he might do it. But that's my thinking there. If, you know, Arteta's kind of pulled you in from the cold. You know, the world was against you, rightly or wrongly. He made you a key part to the team. Don't get it twisted. Some of it is because of what you offer. There's no coincidence. Him, Wenger, and Emre all made you that. Maybe that's what led to their demise. But, you know, it's not just Arteta doing it. He gives Arteta something. But it made me think, if the manager's pulled you back in, if you've had this best season in a while where he has, you know, you don't really see, he has been making mistakes, but his deficiencies, and for me, positionally, is not really seen. There is an improvement, and they all speak about Arteta. So why would you then want to go and leave and go Jose? Don't you feel good here? 29 years of age, there's a rebuild and things. You know, if you want to do the new adventure thing, it makes sense. But it made me think, cool. You know, if a past it, Jose is able to say, you know, clout is clout in it. With respect, Jose's passed it to himself by his own standards. If he can say, come, I'll do all of this for you, make you vital, play you all the time and stuff, and you don't want to, and you know, you're more or less a captain without the band. If he can do all of that and still you want to keep it moving, it does make me question not XHAKA's thinking, but it's like, you know, Arteta really, how they view Arteta really and truly. Like I said, you can't really turn down the opportunity to play under Jose. He's 29. It's never really going to come. These offers might not come again. So I'm just, this isn't me attacking Arteta. This is just me bouncing some thoughts off you guys, really and truly. It just made me feel, you know, is Arteta really the madman coach, the hands-on coach that the man them think he is? Because we've heard a lot of propaganda pieces about, you know, what we heard with what he's doing with Sterling. We thought it was going to happen with Nelson. You know, we ain't really knowing what's... Obviously, I'm not saying he has to make everyone a world beater, because you need time, you need patience, and there's a lot of things he can be held accountable for and not, but you don't really see a young player that significantly looks a better player. Saka and Smith-Rowe are going from strength to strength, but they were on the scene. I ain't seen him bring a random guy from the academy, or I do think he's got a tune out of Pepe, but I haven't seen someone look dramatically better like we've seen with some other cases. So is he really as hands-on and as proactive and just as good as a coach, not manager, coach, like helping man as we think? Is he good at delegating? I don't know. It's probably none of this, and it's probably, he probably is a good coach. XHAKA just wants to keep it moving because, again, it's Jose Mourinho, the time he's at in his career. It probably is that, but I'm probably overthinking it. But it is what it is. But fundamentally, sell XHAKA before it's too late, man. You know, say to Roma, put the money on the table. The guy's not coming. And that same way, if you say that, and XHAKA's basically said, I want to keep it moving. You've seen it, people. He said, Arsenal know what I want. You know, he kind of played, you know, man of the match performance yesterday. If you listen to him after, he said, you know, we'll talk after the end of the season, after the Euro, sorry. Arsenal know what I want. You know, they're cheekily asking him, can he give the interview in Italian? He's saying not yet. So we all know what he wants. And when I say sell XHAKA before it's too late, you know, Roma is going to go there, but it only seems like Roma is the only team that wants him. So let's get this right. Roma put the money on the table. For Arsenal, you know, I don't want to sit here in a year and say I miss Granit Xhaka, but I can see that happening in a sense of Xhaka leaving is not the problem. Like I said, my relationship with Xhaka, he makes a lot of mistakes. I don't think he's as great as his, you know, fanboys make out. I don't think he's nearly as bad as certain people carry on with. I think he should be a squad player, and there's some good to him. But same way, I'm not going to cry if Granit Xhaka goes. Where my problem now is, you know, this man, if fit, is going to probably play 38 games if he stays. He's going to play the majority of games available and has done. So he's vital to the team. Whether you agree with it or not, the team kind of runs through him, quote unquote, in terms of passing and whatnot. So, and the rest of it. And this isn't me to praise Xhaka. This is just what I am seeing, whether I agree with it or not. Because like I said, the pros do not outweigh the cons with Granit. That's why we're kind of part of the reason we're here. Not just him, but a bunch of things, right? So when I look at that, I'm like, all right, cool. Say Xhaka can go. He can keep it moving. But where's the replacement then? Because suddenly, if you haven't got people that, you know, can do the long range passing or do whatever XHAKA quote unquote does or doesn't do in that midfield, then naturally man are gonna sit here and say, yo, why did you let XHAKA go? So it's the age old thing really, which goes with Arsenal. We ain't replaced, man. You know, Partey is nowhere near Vieira. But these are the closest you've ever seen to them shouts since that man left his football club, showing and highlighting our incompetence. So, you know, it'd be nice to see us squeeze a few more zeros out of XHAKA, but, you know, it's a bit frustrating seeing people rewrite history. It's like with Paul Pogba as well. It's a bit different, but it's like people are now seeing he's a good player, like now seeing he's a bloody good footballer. Obviously, necessarily deficiencies, and Pogba clearly is one of those players. He's not going to drag the team through it if, you know, he's not going to take a bunch of, you know, championship players to the Prem and, you know, pull him on his back. He's one that if you've got players of his level and around him, he can shine and be a beacon of that team and be a leader. I can't lie, in the second half of extra time or whenever it was, it looked like Deschamps just looking at Pogba and saying, do one of your motivational speeches that gets clipped up on the socials. It's just the rewriting history. It's like now people can see, oh, you know, Paul Pogba is a good player. XHAKA's not amazing, but he's half decent. The rewriting of history is frustrated by a lot of the same journalists that condemned the signing of XHAKA and condemned him consistently playing, now saying, oh, Arsenal letting him go for 20 million euros at 29 years of age is appalling and this and that. I mean, it might be, but at least stand on something, man. You lot, them man, they annoy me, people, but it is what it is. Fundamentally, sell the man before it's too late, innit? Simple as that. What are you lot saying, people? Obviously, I apologize for not being here at 11:30. I'm normally here earlier. I had 1-2 bits to do, people. So unfortunately, I could not be here for such. But like I was saying, folks, obviously 280 of you locked in. Please make sure you're all hitting the like button. 100 is the target. Make sure you're all at England versus Germany later as well. You know, I'm going to copy and paste this. You know, it's pinned to the live message in the chat. It would, you know, when this video is done, you'll be taken to a landing page of it. And then obviously it's been dropped in. So something for everyone, man. You know, I know a lot of you are lazy, and big up the 30 people who have hit the like button and I assume set their reminders. Shout out to the one person who's even waiting 2 hours before it's happened. I mean, you don't need to do that, but shout out to you, man. Like I said, there's 200 odd people locked in. We're still only at 114 likes, people. So it's not that good, really, is it, people? We need to keep it moving. XHAKA said, in the building from early, we need midfielders badly. Hopefully, you know, the Lokonga one looks like it's happening. You know, we hear he wants it and this and that. To be fair, with a lot of these ones, it feels like Torreira, XHAKA, Guendouzi, you know, Ben White, Lokonga, Tavares, sorry, you know, people are saying the R is silent. It were led to believe that it just needing an I dotted or a T crossed and these things are done. And I don't know what motion needs to be set for it to get going. Maybe it's a domino effect. Maybe once you see one incoming and one outgoing, these things will start to take shape. But it just feels with Arsenal that our things are long, dragged out processes, and then we get to this point. So let's see what happens. Patrick Vieira set to take over at Palace, I'm hearing. I saw that in the Athletic, and I mean, we're going to put him. I love Vieira. Vieira as a player could never be on fraud watch. Vieira as a manager, we're definitely looking, car. Some of you lot said you wanted him ahead of Arteta. You said sack him and bring in Arteta. I mean, sack Arteta and bring him in now. So we're going to see, man. Oh, Bernard has said something great. Big up, DG. Have a great day, everyone. Vieira is set to become Palace new manager. Does that mean Ek gave up on Arsenal? I wouldn't think it does, because at the end of the day, he just sought the advice of them. And, you know, it's going to be a while before Daniel Ek has any chance of buying this football club. So, again, I don't think he can expect these players to sit on their hands and sit on their palms and just wait for things to happen. You know, they're still technically Omri, Bergkamp. You know, these are allowed to hold it. And who knows, people? You know, he might get the clip before long, man. Because listen, I don't really rate Vieira as a manager, and I'd love to be proven wrong, but I really don't rate him, and we're going to see in it. Not that the Crystal Palace team is amazing. What else he saying? Afternoon, my guy. We're gonna get over the transfer gossip and things like that. Yeah, man. Why are Arsenal signing unknown players? I wouldn't say he's unknown, Holmes, but generally, what's wrong with signing unknown players? We can't go toe to toe in household names. You got to make a name for yourself somehow, some way. Not everyone could be a star from the jump, man. Tino, shout out to you, man. I'm good, my guy. I'm good, man. My voice is coming back. Bit tired, you know, bit tired. Didn't have a good sleep at all, really. But you know, 2 watch-alongs. I said I'm going to take the Sweden-Ukraine game off. I'm really fighting the urge to go live, but I think I deserve that. So yeah, man, 2 live streams today. I'm good, man. It's been, you lot have been supporting the thing heavy during the Euros. The engagement levels are good. We keep going, man. I'll be watching with you, DG. Come on, Germany. Oh man. I love you, my guy, but yeah, man, it is what it is. Let's carry on with what we're here for, though, man. We're gonna get into the rest of it. So I've offered some thought. I don't know how we got there, but we spoke on the Euros, I guess. You know, agendas have to fly, I guess. We spoke on selling XHAKA before it's too late. Now, obviously, let's move on to Tavares. I hope you're not bantering me with them pronunciations there, you know, but I'm just gonna call him Nuno. My Portuguese massive. I'm very sorry. You know, I can't do the name thing, but Nuno, Mr. Nuno. Again, I know if you've seen what he's doing with dogs, you know, with between him and SALIBA, these videos that are getting leaked, I wouldn't turn my back around none of these guys or leave. You know, I wouldn't want you lot to even use a cup in my yard, but yeah, man, you know, Nuno, for what it's worth, you know, it is what it is. Yesterday, we heard we're looking at him. We heard we're close to agreeing a cut price fee with Benfica. While I haven't heard nothing or seen anything about medicals and all the necessary but key parts of a deal that need to happen, I haven't seen it. We've played against him before. Fair play. He is early 20s. He is still a bit raw. You know, he is cut price. I understand it, and it's not that deep. But just because it's cut price doesn't mean it's not a mismanagement of money being spent. I'm not getting at Nuno. I'm not listen, I support him, but my personal opinion, I think he's shaky. I think he's really shaky. We signed him already, dog. We might have, but until I see a scarf or he's been officially signed, you know more than me, man. I'm not like you, Shady. I ain't got Ornstein on speed dial. So until I see official channels confirm the deal, you know, it's all guesswork. But as I was saying, just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's not mismanaged. I'm not trying to belittle him. I don't want him to not be a success. But my personal opinion, when I look at him, he's shaky. Shaky 1v1. You know, he can go forward, but shaky in that regards. You know, a bit steady Eddie. But again, he can improve, you know. He can improve if you work with him. That was kind of going back to my point where you might be able to turn him into a competent player. I'm not really convinced with his capabilities, but I'm prepared to change that opinion. My problem is when you look at half of the squad, there's players that you could say are unfinished products. You know, what's going on with Saliba, Nelson, you know, Balogun, you know, Gabriel, you know, Nuno is kind of that, like he's a project. You've got to work with him. I don't mind him as a backup, but it could be a bit shaky. I think he's very suspect. You know, he's decent going forward, you know, probably won't take up as much wages. But again, I want to be proven wrong, man. I'm not really convinced, you know, I'm not really convinced at all, but something is better than nothing, man, I guess. So yeah, well, that's not the first one, I guess. There it is. This it? No, that's I'm all over the place today. Where are we? Where's Fabrizio Romano, man? That's XHAKA. Where's my Fabrizio Romano one? Yeah, here we have it here first and foremost, people. Arsenal and Benfica have an agreement in principle for Nuno Tavares, left back target. Revealed 2 days ago. Deal set to be completed for 8 million as guaranteed fee plus add-on, so it could be past that. He'll sign a 5-year deal, people, until 2026, and agent fees agreed. And agent fees been agreed. So personal terms, agent fees been done. We have an agreement across in terms of the fee. It more or less is done, but paperwork still to be signed, completed. And he was actually in training today for his football club, Benfica. So while these things are going on, so we're gonna have to see what happens. Again, it probably is done, but like I said, until I hear medical's done, until I see him with a scarf or taking pictures, it's not done to me, or on Arsenal's website. I'm pretty sure I had an article up here, people, but you know, let's go and find the next one, man. Let's go find the next one, man. What should we click? You know, just because you was 14 minutes ago, let's go with this one. 352 people locked in. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Broski, I prefer Luka Netz as a backup. Bro, I spoke about Luka Netz. I would love him. You know, someone said Van Aanholt. I'm not, bro. Van Aanholt's in the same boat as my man. I'd rather this guy because he's younger. Van Aanholt, you look at half of them players that played at the Euros, and a lot of them that you would describe as damaged goods, or you look a bit funny. You know, XHAKA, who, you know, people are rewriting history. Isaac, you know, go back on. Everyone knows Isaac's got potential, but now everybody's screaming, sign him, sign him. Everyone was 2 months ago. Everyone would have been like, oh well, If you're a young G and you don't really play at Dortmund, what's going on there? You know, you've got Schick, sorry, you know, and I'm probably missing out of a couple. You know, there's a couple players that have been on the scene and haven't quite done things, and I think have used the Euros to a degree to not rebuild their platform but showcase their talents. I think when you look at that Dutch team where they were looking all right until the first time until the first real test they were given, I think Van Aanholt's let them down. I don't want it, man. I don't want it. At least with a younger guy, you could, you know, he proves he's not level, you can move him on. And again, there's real as you lot know, he played against us last year. So again, if we're not convinced in his credentials, there's some serious problems. But I would love new connects. Appreciate that super chat as well. But for what it's worth, well, not worth nothing. For what it's worth, shout out to Tini for signing the new deal. But Arsenal are working on a deal to sign Benfica defender Nuno Tavares. Arsenal have looked at a number of players, including free agent Ryan Bertrand, but obviously Nuno has emerged as a prime target. He's likely to be available for around £9 million, with Benfica ready to cash in this summer. Now, call me cynical, and I don't know how long his contract is, but Benfica are a very good selling club, right? Why are they so eager to sell my man? Again, if his contract's up and these things, it flips its head. But why are they so eager to tell a 21-year-old? Now, admittedly, if there's a Nuno I want, it'd be Nuno Mendes, but why are they so eager? And not only so eager, why are they so keen to do it at cheap? Benfica, you know, I mean, it's just something to be a bit wary of, you know, and obviously he can play right back, but again, you run the risk of being a jack of all trades, master of none. You know, if you're a left back, show me you're a left back, and then if we need you on the other side, do your thing. There's too many guys here that can play a bunch of positions. I don't know what they are. You know, technically, Joe Willock's been used a bunch of places under Arteta. Maitland-Niles, Granit Xhaka is still on the paper books at our club, and there's probably a few I'm missing out. Chambers as well. You know, it's good having one or two, but suddenly when you've got a lot of them and you don't arguably know what their immediate role in the team is an issue. Arsenal are interested in striking a deal at that price, particularly as Nuno is able to play at right back. Also, listen, we better be signing a right back. 416 people locked in. Please make sure you hit the like button. I'm very appreciative of you lot. As you lot know, the fullback has represented Portugal at youth level and is regarded as a player with a bright future. His arrival would likely accelerate the departure from Arsenal of Sead Kolasinac, who is up for sale this summer after spending the second half of the season on loan at Schalke. Well, yeah, he might have a year left on his deal, but he's on 100k a week. So again, getting rid of Kolasinac is going to be easier said than done. But fair play, you know. Listen, not the name I'd really want, but some covers better than none. I would want to see a first choice right back. I would be very disappointed if you bring in a backup left back and not a first choice right back, because it's square pegs and round holes and all of those sort of things. But we'll have to see what happens firmly in that regards. But in relation to Nuno, you know, 9 million personal terms have been agreed, fees with agents have been sorted, just the necessary legal documentation and medicals and the necessary processes required in my opinion before you see something. But that's that in Nuno's regards. What are you lot saying in the comment section, people? Where are we at in terms of likes? We must have fixed up 170 likes. Keep moving, people. I appreciate that. We must can grab 200 very quickly, man. 30 people, pull your pants up, man. There's 400 odd of you locked in. If you're English fans, hit the like button as well. Make sure you're there for the watch along. If you want England to win, you don't hit that like button. We're losing. You want Germany to win, you don't hit it. You know, the opposite is happening. I know nobody likes unexpected high bills, so it is what it is. For you youths out there that are misbehaving, mummy's gonna ground you if you do not hit that like button. Suspecting shaky. I'll give him a chance, man. He's 21, he's raw, but this is the problem. You've had too many of them sort of guys, and I don't really, you know, when we are working with minimums, I don't really see us trying to improve them. So now when you've got maximums, when you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these sort of cases, you know what's going to happen. Of course, if it works out and we can make him a player, I don't mind. There's been players, not necessarily him, but there's been players that, you know, you've looked at as damaged goods at clubs and then they've played well. So we'd have to see. So yeah, man. Daniel Marlon, not sure on his relevance, but Carl said, DG, what's your thoughts on Arsenal legend Patrick Vieira about to be announced as Crystal Palace manager? Risky, smells like more Frank de Boer. I don't really rate him as a manager. Like I said at the start, there's going to be an issue. Yeah, I don't know why it's bugging my guy. Every time I move, man, I might just change the display picture, man. I don't know what it is, but we keep going, man. We keep going. You know, I might just do it one more. It is bugging me. I don't know what is going on. Croatia left back is a shout. Kai, are you bantering or did you watch that? Like, Did you watch when Croatia went out? I don't know if you did, bro. I don't know if you did because that's shaky. Again, that background's annoying me, people. I'm back to normalcy. That only happens when I do that. You know, I'm back to the Emirates. I'd rather Alioski dead. I think Tavares is a calm option. He has some growing up to do, but he has room for improvement. My bill is unexpectedly low this month, thanks to you, DG. Big up, bro, pro. Player worth taking a gamble on, in my opinion. 9 million is chump change. I hear you. I'm not really fussed if we do it, but is it really chump change? Because if we meant to be self-financing and we're broke and these things, you got to treat 9 million like it's 90. You have to be getting full price from everywhere. And I think, as we've seen already, you know, whether it's been big money signings, I love Pepe. But why is it, you know, he wasn't worth the 72 million? I like Lacazette. Was he worth that? I don't think XHAKA is as bad as people make out. Was he worth that? You know, it's not just and there's plenty of other examples. It's not just the big money signings. You know, we spent 16 million on Callum Chambers. I'm being a bit harsh, but has he progressed? Have we got what we thought we was getting? You know, and it's not just them signings. It's the free transfers. It's the loan fees. You know, we need to maximize what we're doing in it. So we need to see an improvement in that regards firmly. So it is a risk, but as long as it's an educated risk, as long as the man are not just looking at it as we need a backup left back, Benfica want to sell him cheap, let's do it. As long as they see what this player could potentially be in the future, why not? And we played against him, why not? Worth taking a gamble on, but, you know, sometimes gambles don't pay off. Man said, get Zaha to the carpet. Aubameyang, Zaha and Saka will slap. Wouldn't mind Zaha, but I think that one day is gone, man. Reeks is not confident. A year or two from now, Nuno is going to be one of them dead man there that are dead weight, and we struggle to get off the books. Hope not, but you know, you're allowed your opinion, man. Keep the opinions coming, man. What else are you guys saying, man? To be fair, I have to disagree with you because I was doing YouTube. Robertson's never been mediocre, and Robertson could actually defend. It's all about, I hear you though, but it's all about specifically what we're going to do with these lads, how we're going to make them better players of the future, how we're going to develop them. And, you know, some of the more prestigious and better talents, you could argue, at this football club, you know, we're not getting nothing out of them. There's going to come a time where Saka might stagnate and we're like, what's going on? I'm already on that and saying, what's going on with the corners? The dog thing puts me off. He better be the next Tierney after that. To be fair, it's weird, but it's got nothing to do with me. You know, I don't have any animals. If that's what he's doing in his private time, as long as he ain't killing no one or abusing anyone or anything, he can do what he wants. I'm not condoning it. I'm definitely condemning it, but it's got nothing to do with me, and I'm definitely not gonna hold it over him. It's weird as hell. Don't get twisted, but if Saka was doing that nastiness, I'm not sure people tell a blind eye, man. Miles, I hope you're well. Paul said, afternoon, DG. Hope you're good, bro. It's all good and well us shouting for players to be sold, but do we trust the club to replace them with better players or players with more hunger who can grow? Time will tell, man. He's been a problem attitude-wise at Benfica. Now, these things are gonna concern you. I don't know that to verify, but if you man are saying it, I'll take it on. You know, apparently they don't like him because he bullied Gilmando again. So there might be some legs to it. I don't know about any of that. Benfica fans have to clue me up on that. I'm just gonna deal with it from a footballing perspective. Left back is a dead position in the game right now. I hear that, but I'm not being funny. You telling me for 9 million you can't find a cut price man in the second division in France or actually even in Portugal or somewhere else? You know, it just feels again like, do we want this player Nuno, or are we looking at is, you know, Benfica are willing to sell 9 million, 9 million, 9 million, 9 million, cheap. That's all we're looking at. You know, is it one of those things? Is it someone we're proactively trying to get, or have we exhausted more prestige targets in relation to backup and we've just said, you know what? He's got one foot out the door, so we might as well just do this anyways. Now, if it's that, obviously, that is of concern. Good, interesting comments nonetheless, people. Keep them coming. And where are we at for likes? We're still only at 170, people. You lot are doing me dirty. I lied. We're at 203. It refreshed. Appreciate that. Let's keep moving, though, folks, man. Keep your opinions and all of those sort of things coming in, man. I did hear about the attitude thing. You're right, man. You know, they did say Oba had a problem, and, you know, Oba's only exercised humility. My friend who supports Benfica said he's good going forward, but needs to work on his defensive game. Where have we been there before? You know, we signed Kolasinac, but Kolasinac showed you in life you should never judge a book by its covers. Because when you look at him, you think he's just gonna be. You would have thought he'd probably be solid defensively, probably very basic going forward. Where he can go forward, he's quite wavy there. I just think, you know, he's a fire hazard defensively, and there's no point, you know. There's no point bringing in people who are going to give you question marks. Fair play at 21, he could do what he needs to do, but when it's time to be called upon, you're going to highlight that, you know. And there's many fullbacks you can say very good going forward, shaky defensively. I know the modern game tends to that, but boy, we'll have to see, man. It feels like a Russ decision. Probably looked at a few targets, knew we couldn't get them. They may not even have been reached out to. Only time will tell. Our transfer strategy is what it is. Fair play. Good comments, man. Right. Benfica fan here. He lacks defensive game and competitive mindset. Now, for me, you can teach mindset, but for this, the defensive game, of course, it concerns me. Was that it would be Arsenal? We've signed goalies that can't catch, but it's the mindset thing. What you've just said there that concerns me, because mindset. I don't want you to have to buy into stuff. I want you to be spot on. Now, this ain't a play crash. If we're going to get back to where Arsenal Football Club was or wasn't, we need to dramatically improve in that regard. So if his mindset is not there, I'm not on it at all. If I can take what you're saying at face value. Boy. XHAKA's underrated, underappreciated with some aspects. I wouldn't say underrated. I do think I think he will struggle in the league. Like I said, I want to be proven wrong. The only thing I can console myself with is that we've addressed the area, but I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced in him off the ball. I'm not convinced in him 1v1. I'm not convinced in him following runners. I'm not convinced in how he marks space. I'm not convinced in, I don't know how you explain it, but anyone that's been a defender or anyone that's been a defender or a fullback, yeah, you want to win the ball, but sometimes you have to have humility to let someone go past you to then win the ball. I don't think he reads that. I do think he's very easy to get at. I think he's very reactive. I do think he's able to fly forward and be a headless chicken, and he'll be all right in that. But at worst, I just wanted someone who, you know, I'd rather, you know, a steady Eddie. Like, it doesn't do anything amazing, just 5s out of 10s in all aspects. When calls upon, it's not that he's standing out, but he's doing all right. He can hold it up. That's probably what I would like to see. But what I would like to see and what's going to happen, as you lot know, at Arsenal Football Club are two different things. So it is what it is. Let's hope Tierney can stay injury free. I love Tierney, but you're probably wishing on a miracle with that one. I like Tadibo, but I think we, you know, not really, you know, because we're signing centre halves that keep needing to be trained. You're not working with the young French guy you have. And, you know, is Tadibo going to lead? I would have preferred a bit more experience at the back. But in terms of 6 million, the profit that could have been made. Well, Bertrand's better than him. So on that basis, I would have. But I'd rather take Nuno, because a year from then, you're going to be saying, what's going on with Bertrand then? How are we moving him on? Yeah, man. David is not on it. As a Benfica fan, Nuno Tavares is a shameful player. Can't defend in League Nos. Can't even imagine in Premier League. But oh well, 10 million is a great bargain for Benfica. I hope he leaves. Boy. The reality is we have a transfer team who have zero experience and contacts. How can you make decent signings when you're an unknown entity? Boy. A very important point, DG. How does a defender mark space? How does he shift in half spaces or deny a pass just by shifting or supporting teammates? But as a fullback, Tierney does it all the time. Sometimes even them Liverpool ones, they get rolled over. Someone gets past you, just stand him up. I don't want to see you dive in, concede unnecessary fouls, because we need street smart individuals, man. But we'll have to see what happens, man. But enough about Nuno. There's other things going on in this footballing world, people, and you know we spent a lot of time about someone that might not be able to cut the mustard at this football club. But let's see. And that's Edu's legacy. That's every signing we make, I'm going to Edu's rubber stamping it in it. So it is what it is in that regards. But Saliba, now Saliba's been linked with Newcastle and Lille. I wouldn't mind him going back to France. He feels comfortable there, whether he wants to go to Lille, Nice, whatever. They're defending champions. Personally, I would prefer him to stay in the Premier League just because, you know, I'm not one of them fans. You know, I think if he shows these levels in France, you can give him game time. But, you know, there's fans and people, you know, oh, it's not Premier League. It's not this. People say it's not Premier League, and then they want to buy players from the French league every time, 9 times out of 10. But I would like him to go to the Prem because obviously he answers more questions. If you're at Newcastle, I don't know if it's playing for Spurs or City, but you're going to play Harry Kane. You're going to play all different sorts of strikers in the league. You're big target men, pacey strikers, you know, false nines, target men if I didn't see it. So, some players that never, some strikers, sorry, that never give you a moment's rest from minute 0 to 90. Some strikers you don't even see for 89 minutes. You take your actual hand off them because you should be able to have them in touching distance as a defender, and your eyes off them, they've scored. These are the lessons Saliba needs to learn, you know. And I think at a club like Newcastle, first and foremost is Premier League. Second of all, it's a big club. You know, big fans are coming back. He would love it there. And you see how he's moving at St. Etienne in the derbies and them things there. He's up for it. And, you know, I'd like to give Newcastle a bit of saving grace. You know, we sent Joe Willock there. You handled Joe Willock with some care. So maybe you do the same for us with Saliba. So it is what it is in that regards, people. But yeah, that was the article I was meant to have. We actually need to speak about Saliba. So that's not it. There we have it. Newcastle in battle with French champions Lille to sign out of favour Arsenal defender William Saliba, as the 20-year-old has been told to go and play another season of regular football. We've got to remember he's 20. As much as I want him to stay at this football club, I didn't really want him to go to Nice. I didn't really want him to go back to St. Etienne. I understood it though, because game time, he's 20. He's ready, but he's not ready. What I mean by he's ready, in my opinion, he's ready to stay at this club, work with Arteta, try and get those rough patches out of his game, work hard, try and start. Where I think he's not ready is I feel, you know, you're probably going to enter it for me being third choice. And it's a techie one because for me, Gabriel, Ben White, assuming he signs, Saliba, probably Holding, and Marie would make up my 5. Chambers is floating. That's about 6. Let's be honest. Chambers and Marie, they're cool to sit on the bench and they can develop in that, but they're probably not that. Sudden, and then Holding can mix it up. You've got Saliba where you don't really want to do that with Saliba. He's in and out the squad. He's not playing. I want him to play. And obviously there's no Europa League where he should have been playing last year. So with that in mind, if he's going out on loan to play 20 to 30 plus games, I'm on that. You come back a stronger player. Like I said, he's 20. He's got a lot of tough lessons. And I think fans do this nonsense all the time where they bang on about a player playing and this and that and how good they are. And then when they struggle and have these little struggles, they turn on them or they act surprised. He's 20, you know. Such is life in football, you know. If you're known at 17, 18, you could be seen as damaged goods back 20, but he's 20. So I understand him going out on loan again. I wouldn't mind him going to Lille, defending champions. You know, if he goes to Lille, I back him to be Arsenal's first choice next year because I don't know what they put in the water with Renato Sanchez and players like that, but they're doing bits there, innit? I would like him to stay, but I understand him going out on loan. As I said, I'd like him to go to Newcastle or anywhere else. And to be fair with you, surely we should try. I mean, if Arsenal was serious, surely you try throw Saliba into the Ben White deal. You say, you know what, take our piece, but we'll give you a little Saliba on loan. You can get game time because you obviously, Ben White, you've got to credit his development to Brighton because they've found good homes for him. But primarily, I saw him at Leeds, and I know Leeds is probably, Bielsa's given him that education, that understanding systems and all of those sort of things, and understanding and having an appreciation and overall footballing IQ. You see, when he's gone to Newport and Peterborough and all of that, that's defending at the deep end because, man, you know, managers are trying to get out the division. People are trying to keep jobs. You know, you have to do your bit so you're out the team. So he's been thrown in at the deep end and he's been worked with and he's been in the system. Same way, what do you hear with Ben White? Oh, Brighton in the second, like in the other half of the Premier League, they got one of the best defensive records. If Ben White comes to Arsenal, Arsenal's defensive record has improved, but have we got that sort of system or that emphasis? I don't know. For Saliba, for me, at least he would go to a club where there's an appreciation of a system. You understand how to defend. No one needs to banter it, but you know, he could learn a lot from Dunk and Ben and Dan Burn and all of these guys, man. If you understand football, you know what I'm getting at, innit? And you know, Graham Potter's a good manager. So for me, we should be trying to throw the little Brighton one there, Premier League as well. You know, I think the system's put spot on for him there. You know, I like Saliba. He's got potential. 26'4", Rolls Royce of a centre half. I see him as being a France international one day. But on the 28th of June, is it still the 28th? 29th, sorry, of June. Apologies. He's not there yet. It's about how we start. It's like the end of the tunnel's there. The light at the end of the tunnel's here. We're at the start. It's about walking through that tunnel, you know, off the ball, ironing them things out, defensively ironing them things out. Because for me, off the ball is where he needs to make the most improvements, as well as the obvious, when to pass, when to keep it simple, when to play out from the back. Off the ball, he has a problem with runners. He gets caught flat-footed. I implore you all to go and watch Nice's highlights or Nice's season, not just Saliba, but they played a young team, especially in defense. Go and look at the goals they conceded, especially the set-piece ones. I don't care about them other young players. You know me, I like young players, but I only care about Saliba. So I'm focusing on Saliba. And I implore you to, you know, I never go and check the loan reports. And with the Euro starting to wind down, you know, you're going to get more specific youth videos and Saliba videos and things, loan reports for last season. You're going to get more of that sort of stuff from me, as I know you lot like. But yeah, I'll be all for this, man. But for what it's worth, Newcastle face competition from French champions Lille for Arsenal defender William Saliba. The 20-year-old who was named in France's squad for the Olympics at the weekend will be allowed out on loan on another season-long loan as Arsenal look to finalise a 50 million plus deal for Brighton defender Ben White. We all know, for me, and you know, Nice did well for me, earned his confidence, he played again. You know, he's 20 years of age. The problem is, I need a proper proactive plan to making Saliba what we think he can be. I haven't always seen that at Arsenal because you didn't let him play in the cup final. You pissed about with him going on loan last year. We all know he got no football for January. You know, you can train as much as you want, but, you know, you don't. And it's not just Saliba. All of these young players, there's going to come a time when, unless something changes, we're going to say the same about Balogun, Martinelli and Saka. How are we taking them to that next level? How is Saka going to continue to get better and better? And he's a key player for Arsenal, but have the goals and assists to match. How are we, you know, Martinelli, whether he's a striker, right or left, how are we going to make him one? How are we going to get Balogun there? Saliba, what do we need to do? Gabriel, who's a bit of a veteran compared to Saliba, but is an infant in the school of defending in himself. You know, how are you going to coach them parts out of him? I haven't really seen that at this club. I've seen 1-2 bits with Pepe, to be fair, with Arteta. I have to give him that. But we can talk about having young players, signing young players, doing this young player thing. Unless there's a proper emphasis on developing young players, unless there's a proper plan, unless there's proactiveness, unless everybody's singing from the same hymn sheet, it's a myth. It is a myth. It will not happen. And you'll continuously sit here and do what we used to do, where for years we're talking about the same players. Is he right wing? Is he centre mid? And then he's playing right back. And then he pisses off the Liverpool and things like that. But yeah, man, you're scrolling down. He's still young, but for me, it's a bit bewildering that since 2019, it's been mad. Apparently, Arteta originally told Saliba that he didn't believe he was ready for Arsenal's first team and planned the signing of Ben, and the planned signing of Ben White would indicate that remains the same. Now, he told him that last year. I don't know if any dialogue has happened since. Opportunities will be limited at Arsenal, while Saliba would be an almost automatic pick at Newcastle. I don't want him to be an automatic pick at Newcastle. I want him to play, of course, but he needs to earn it. And, you know, to be fair with you, like it says here, Lille are in the Champions League. They might sell players. You know, Botman is being linked with moves away. Jonathan Davis is. Ikone as well. We'll have to see. You know, he does his thing at France, St. Etienne at Nice, respectively. But I'd prefer for him to play in the Premier League. But, you know, if he could go to Lille, play Champions League, boy, everything works out. It's like when my old team kicked me out, I've gone back to Roggers and I've won the league. Everything works out in the end, but we'll have to see. And even for Ben White, to go to the point I said, Ben White, he's done a lot of developing. He's now 23. I'm sure he wants to be an England international. I'm sure if you're signing for 50 million, you should have it in mind that he can be the best centre-half at this club and possibly one of the best in the league and for country. How are you going to take him there? Because if you're not able to do that, there's no point signing him because he's still a young man. And like I said, not that you have to discount anything Brighton did, but you have to discount Ben White coming to Arsenal because that system that they played in the clean sheets is a bit irrelevant because it's not going to be there at Arsenal. I know we're there for clean sheets and we've improved defensively, but there's still many aspects when you look at it, it's not telling the full story. So we'll have to see what happens in that regards, man. And as I said, I can't see, you know, Arteta having time to try and develop Ben White, Gabriel, and then Saliba. He should throw his hat on that. And it'd be a shame if that £100 million worth of defensive talent, we don't really get to see something at Arsenal. So let's see what happens in that regards, people. But in relation to Saliba, that's that, people. That's that. 1 second, I'm still here. I'm still here, folks. My phone is going to die. And shortly after this live stream, just before my next live stream, make sure you're all here at the England versus Germany one, people. I'll be going to Tesco's, obviously. I need to do my shop. I don't even have time to go to Lidl or Aldi or Asda and get some fruit and that, people. It is where it is in that regards, though, man. So, yeah, like I said, shameless plug. Make sure you're all there for the next watch along, people. Big up the 31 people. You know, only one person's hit the like button since, man. You lot doing the guy dirty. But yeah, right back's an extreme priority, broski. Extreme. And don't just sign a right back for the sake of it. Sign someone that can be levels. The only time, you know, if Tini never had injury issues, hey, Sainsbury's here and there, Tino. I'm not rich like you, man. You know, couple more subscribers needed for that. But as I was saying, well, I can't remember what I was saying now. Really, you made me lose my trail of thought, man. Tino, shout out to you. Guna Loop, I appreciate you. But yeah, like I said, oh yeah, that's what I was saying. With Tini, if Tini never had them injury issues, you never speak about left back unless we're speaking out positively. There's too much things being said about right back, and there's too many players in theory that can play there. Leaving him out of it, bro. It's very reactive. When you look at how we're developing Saliba, you can't help but think of reactiveness and things along that nature. Like, it's just pure reactiveness in this football club, and that's for a lot of players. You know, I want to have the faith to know that you lot know what you're going to do with Balogun, because that's what I'm really looking at. You made him sign a deal. Minutes are currency. If he's not going to, arguably, it makes sense for Balogun to go out on loan. I think he can get game time here, but it makes sense. And I do hear that, Yoni. To be fair, the club were to be fair to the club, St. Etienne were forcing us to pay them money to extend Saliba's loan so he could play in the final. And that's dead. No, I don't think that's quite it. I think we were at loggerheads with them over the actual fee we wanted them to pay. And if you don't pay the fee, you can't have the player. But at the same time, it is a bit harsh on Saliba. But you are right. We got to be fair to the club. Seeing is believing. I big up the Australian ones, all the Melbourne and down on the crew. Come on. It's very reactive in relation to a lot of development with our players, man, which is dead, man. I think that's your comment's gone, but somebody said Ben White's a grafter, not like Granit Xhaka, and his something about his mentality. I don't think that's fair to Granit Xhaka. I think you can call him a bloody grafter, to be fair to you. Yeah, White's a grafter, not the luxury slow motion, blown out ego Xhaka vibe. To be fair, I think Xhaka's a grafter. You don't come from his background and make it if you don't, man. I have admiration for him in that regards, man. My green screen is doing the most today, man. That is getting fixed after this. But is what it is. Scattergun. It might be a scattergun approach, but it might not be, because you know every club's just being linked with a bag of names. Who is actually, if you're at the club, it's different, isn't it? Who do you actually want? Is what it is. Xhaka is a workhorse, just decision-making suspect. Come on, man. Oh, man. It's interesting comments all the way, man. Keep them coming, folks. What else have we got? So, yeah, we've covered that. Hello, this is your first free article of the week. Yeah, let's speak about Ben White quickly. Not Ben White, Ramsdale, people. Now, before I show you this article about Ramsdale, if I don't even need to, you know, apparently Sheffield United expect Arsenal to submit an official bid for goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale when he returns from the England European Championships. We know a lot of people's careers are going to be sorted out after the European Championships. You know, XHAKA, we probably see what's going on there. Before I go into that article, for me with Ramsdale, it's not really him. I can have my opinion on Ramsdale. Oh gosh, that's an email draft. My problem isn't Ramsdale. My personal opinion on Ramsdale, I think he's a good shot stopper. I think he'd do better with a team that's going to be more on the front foot and a team that has a better defense, which based on last season we do have. But for me, I don't know for his kicking. I don't know for his playing out from the back. How good is he with his feet? Because if we're trying to play out from the back and you have a keeper that can't play, you see the issues. And for me, I know he was in a good defensive system at Sheffield once upon a time, quickly gone. He does have it's not his fault, but he does have back-to-back relegations on his CV. I know there's English tax and an English premium for the players because there's potential and all of that jazz. So yeah, but 40 million is a bit excessive. I can't lie to you. And for me, if we're spending 40 million, I don't really see that, but you've seen 20 to 40 million. That's got to be your first choice keeper. And if it's going to be your first choice keeper, you've got to know how it ties in. So, you know, he is going to grow and become a better player. But is he out? If Leno's still here, right? Leno, him, Matt Ryan. Let's just throw Matt Ryan, who was here on loan. Who is out? Who is the best keeper out of all of them? I don't even want to answer from you. Like, I'm just saying, you're probably certain man probably saying Leno, which is probably right. Certain people probably saying Matt Ryan, where he's probably the one I feel most comfortable with. I don't think Ramsdale's bad, but my point is everybody's saying something different. So what you doing? And for me, it's who suggested him. You know, who suggested him? I don't think he wants to be second choice, so you're not going to get into the England team. You know, you weren't even in the top 3 keepers to go with England. Someone got injured, so you're only going to boost your chances via playing. For me, who suggested him? Because we've, you know, since we've come to this Emirates, I don't think we've had a great keeper. We've had some all right ones. We haven't had some, and we've had some eccentric keepers and things. And, you know, there's a lot said about Arsenal's goalkeeping coaching. You look at Leno, there was no, you know, Leno's been quite critical allegedly on it. And there's been Leno hasn't improved significantly since he joined this club, you know. Martinez has been here for a while and went on loan, but no players have really improved significantly in goal at this football club. Or you've seen it. Or Ospina definitely didn't, you know. Czech definitely didn't, you know. I don't know. So if we're going to sign someone and I can't see how he's improving, they have question marks with his coaching, I can't really see how he ties into the system, it doesn't really make sense. And I don't really trust the people making decisions in relation to this goalkeeping thing at this club, because you rarely seem to see keepers improve at Arsenal, evident improvement. Somebody, whether it, you know, it's very lazy to just say Arteta and Edu, where it is them two. But Arteta, Edu, a goalkeeping coach, some scout, multiple people had to have seen Runnison, rightly or wrongly, which if you saw what he could do and condoned it, there's a problem. Somebody sanctioned it. So I'm not really confident in you lot's ability to find a keeper. Definitely a first choice keeper where we need to reset and rebuild. You know, it's the same logical thought that said sell Martinez. Now we got 20 million. He wanted to go, but I think it was made abundantly clear to Martinez that no matter how much of a great season you've had, it's a Leno thing. Your opportunities are there. The man's been fighting for about 10 years since he's 17. When you finally touched it and you've won the FA Cup, well, you're not going to fight a bit more. So we haven't made the right decisions in relation to goalkeeping. So I'm a bit scared in that regard, if I'm honest with you lot. Arsenal to test Sheffield United with big money offer for Ramsdale, but will it be enough? Let me see, man. Fuck. You know, he's 23, so he can have scope. And my hope, if we were to sign him, is that he could just develop. But as you lot can see here, or I don't know if you can, trying to zoom in for you guys. Although it will prove difficult for them to progress any deal while Ramsdale is away with Gareth Southgate's squad, Mikel Arteta's employers are understood to have told Sheffield United's agents that they are likely to make an offer in writing once the England involvement in the tournament ends, which could be today. So hopefully not. Although that is likely to fall short of the 40 million United insist Ramsdale is now worth, less than a year ago after re-signing him for 18.5. One source with knowledge of Arsenal's intentions has predicted it will be big enough to confirm they are serious about pushing the deal through. 40 million, come on now. Edu, Arteta's technical director, also suspects the figure they propose is likely to prove a serious test of United's determination to retain the services of a player who recently stressed he has no intention of leaving South Yorkshire despite their relegation. I mean, he's not going to come out and say it. We've been linked with another Sheffield United player previously this summer in Sander Berge. So we'll have to see what's going on, man. We'll have to see. And obviously, he progressed through their academy. He went to Bournemouth and then they brought him back. Nothing to do with him. I'm not really convinced. And I just think this is mismanagement, really, because, again, I think Ben White's a good player. But I hope the club can see something we don't, because suddenly, you know, 50 million, you got 90 million on Ramsdale and Ben White. People would say, you could probably buy a couple of players for that and spend money better. So I hope you've seen the player Ben White can be in the future. I hope you've seen what Ramsdale could be in the future. I hope you know how you're going to develop these 23-year-olds as well, because they're not in their finished product. I hope you see how he is the potential successor to Leno and how that play ties into playing out from the back, because I can't. You know, if Ramsdale signs like Tavares, he'll have all my support, but I can't really get behind that one day. I don't think it's 30, if I'm completely honest with you guys, people. But I don't know, man. And we haven't heard Onana links. It seems that Inter were the last one to inquire. It seems like the Arsenal ones have gone cold. I don't know what's going on in that regards. Past speculation, though, folks. So in relation to Aaron Ramsdale, it is what it is. We've spoken about Granit Xhaka, SMITH-ROWE. Now, I want to stop talking about the Villa ones, but apparently, well, before we say apparently, before we just carry on with that, like I said, make sure you guys are here, people. He isn't good with his feet, so I can't understand it, man. But boy, so if you're not good with your feet, you can see how Arteta's plan is doomed. So you sign a keeper that isn't good to play with his feet. How are you going to be able to get your midfield and your strike in the game? And also, you look at it, preseason is vital. Gabriel's at the Olympics. Tierney's going to be for preseason, but might miss the start of it. Who is in goal? Leno's still there. So who is in goal? Who is your centre half? Who is the right back? If you don't get that back five sorted in the preseason or building blocks, we're going to have the same season. And ultimately, if that does happen, Arteta, you got to go by Christmas. But back to Smith-Rowe, people. Clearly, Aston Villa are not giving up. Aston Villa persistent in Emil Smith-Rowe chase. Arsenal, Smith-Rowe, you know, I want him to stay, but Villa are refusing to give up their pursuit of Emil Smith-Rowe after making a second bid for the Arsenal attacker. The offer, thought to have been in the region of 30 million, was rejected by the Gunners, who have again insisted the 20-year-old is not for sale. But Villa are reluctant to abandon the chase as they continue with an ambitious summer transfer strategy aimed at bolstering Dean Smith's attacking options. We know they've looked at Dwight McNeil. We know they're looking at Ben White. Dwight McNeil, we know they've signed Buendia. You know, so clearly I'm not going to keep going on. Apparently, you know, there probably is some legs to it, whether it's a Grealish replacement or someone else is another thing. But clearly there must be something giving them direct or indirect courage. And for me, I'd be doing the same thing until he confirms that he signed a new deal at Arsenal. It is, man. Couldn't be any more Arsenal putting our faith in Leno, selling Emmy for pennies. Now Leno wants to cut, and we now have to pay. We now I can't even see the writing. And now we try to sign a player half Emmy's quality for double the price. I'm so done. It is. But what is that? Reactive. You know, I don't begrudge Leno for wanting to leave. He doesn't, you know, he's a footballer. This is a job. If he wants, rightly or wrongly, he's allowed to. XHAKA's allowed to. Bellerin's allowed to. You know, specifically said them names because all them guys probably should have been moved on. Arteta's looked to use them and they've shagged him. You know, Willian, you know, if he wants to keep it moving, which I hope all these players go, but it would be very Arsenal, man. Hey, come on, Juventus, sign him. I don't think you can go from Locatelli to that. But fair play. We'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. But I can't lie, people. We're working to a strict time zone limit today, people. I'll see you lot at the England one. I'm going to have to wrap this up because, like I said, I've got to go get some shopping in before I'm live at 4:30, people. So I'm going to cut now. It is what it is. Yeah, man. Make sure you're there at the England one. I'm there and whatnot. Michael said Arsenal finish at the top level. Hope not. We have enough homegrown players. Probably, but suddenly, if Bellerin leaves, who does count as one. If Smith-Rowe leaves, if Smith-Rowe goes to Villa, for example, if Nelson goes, if Eddie goes, if Joe goes, if Maitland goes, you know, any other club away from this situation should be actually looking to move Chambers on. If Chambers goes, you need the players, isn't it? It's a bit crazy, man. It's a bit mad, but I don't know what they're thinking with Ramsdale. I think some of these names are just being thrown out. They might be smoke screens, or at least better yet, I hope them to be the case. But it is what it is. Like I said, man, I'm going to catch you lot on the rebound, people. You know, I'll probably be back again, normal time, 11:30 tomorrow. Sorry for being late today. Again, life admin and things. But I'll catch you lot for the England live watch along tomorrow. Today, sorry. You know, I'll be live again tomorrow. Yeah, man. Saka starts today. England wins. Hopefully, man. Hopefully. Catch you later, Jason. Big up yourself. Make sure you're all hitting the like button. Laters, Carl M. I see you. Shout out to everyone, man. Stay safe, and I'll catch you, man.